Welcome everyone to today's event. President, therapist and mum, all in a day's work, our interview with Audrey Jung. So thanks for joining us today, Audrey.
Thank you, John. Hello everyone.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who's joining us live on the internet all around the world. It's great to have you here. Just a quick note about the event tonight. Audrey and I can see and hear each other. But we can't see or hear any of the other participants who are joining us tonight. But I guess as you watch the video, you'll also see the chat room to the side of the video screen. So feel free to log in and make some comments or ask some questions, because both Audrey and I can see the chat room and we're hoping to respond and get a real interactive session going. That's what we're hoping for today. So Audrey, although the online events team is in Scotland, you're in quite a different location. Maybe we could start by asking you where you're located.
My office is just south of Phoenix, Arizona, a suburb just southeast of Phoenix. Arizona is located in the southwest portion of the United States, close to California, if you look at a map.
So quite some distance from Scotland, I guess. We're just earlier marvelling at the miracle of technology, where we're thousands of miles apart. But
no kidding, it's just really incredible to be able to see you so clearly and speak to you so clearly and be able to participate in this manner live. It's just unheard of before. I'm sitting here on the border of Mexico and California talking to someone from Scotland who's not currently situated in Scotland, which is incredible.
Yeah. It's just amazing, isn't it? And then to have everyone, wherever they are around the world, to be included in that, quite fantastic. We've got a little bit of a sound issue today, so if you're listening live, you might hear a little bit of a hissing sound, but I hope Audrey and I are loud enough that you can hear us. So just so that you know we have a sense of that. Okay, so I guess we're not here so much to talk about the technology, but your work as a therapist, Audrey, and I was quite interested into your route to working as a psychotherapist. And can I ask you a little bit about that, how you've arrived here?
Well, it's complicated. My grandfather was a psychiatrist, practicing in the 40s through the 80s, I believe, or 40s through the 70s, before he retired. And he, so I guess I was raised with this understanding of the nature of psychology, although I never got to see him practice or, understood the nature of his work because of distance issues. I just appeared to be a natural listener to people and was encouraged at a young age to develop these skills by my friends. So when it came time to decide what I wanted to do, I pursued it. I thought psychology might be the answer for me. And I predominantly wanted to work with troubled teenagers, as pretty much any teenager might be interested at some point in doing, and really expanded on my practice from there.
Yeah, so there's some history in your family, I guess, of working in mental health. Sounds like it was kind of a natural thing for you also to be in that listening position.
It was interesting. My father would tell me that my grandfather actually defended his thesis with Abraham Maslow.
Oh, wow.
So before I even knew how important Abraham Maslow was, his name was a part of my vocabulary. So, yeah, psychology was definitely a part of my makeup at a young age.
And that history is quite embedded in some of the early thinkers in the field. It's quite incredible.
Yes, he worked with Maslow, and he studied with Maslow as students together, but then he worked with the Menninger Clinic and kind of took off his career from there. My grandfather was also hard of hearing, and he lived in California, and I grew up on the other side of the country in Massachusetts. So we weren't able to use technology to communicate with each other. We didn't have, at that time, a TTY machine to type back and forth to each other. So Grandpa would very rarely come to the phone. We relied on face-to-face communication when we would vacation to get to know each other. So I think that was another early influence for me in terms of the other work that I do in working with the deaf and hard of hearing, was to learn how to sign and understand that communication bridges a lot of issues. So communication plus the psychology component pretty much created me. And then understanding the adaptive technologies for the deaf, the TTY machines, that brought me into this online realm, because chat rooms are just a kind of a newer way of communicating versus the TTY that pretty much was chat over a telephone line.
Yeah, so can you just describe the TTY machine for us, just so that we have a sense of that?
Actually, I have one right here. It's an old machine. Hold on.
Oh, great, great.
So a TTY, a teletypewriter, they were developed, you'll see, centuries ago. Looks something like this.
Okay.
And you can see that your old-fashioned telephone would sit in the couplings of the modem up here.
Right.
And then a deaf person would turn it on and then type, and everything they typed would come across the screen, and everything that was received by the telephone line would come across the screen. And that's how, that was early texting, folks.
Wow.
This was going on for decades before we had things like ICQ and AOL and MSN and and Yahoo and all the various different chat rooms in the modern world.
So before text messaging and mobile phones and things like MSN chat,
this was going on. And this machine here cost me about $400.
Wow, $400.
It was not a cheap. It was not a cheap form of technology. The deaf could get subsidies in the United States to get a machine.